or low, it's not always low for African Americans, because there's some folks in this town that are chronically unemployed that have given up looking. So when they put those unemployment statistics together, they're not there. So, so we have jobs, here that are coming to town, and then the complaint is that they can't find enough qualified African Americans to do the job. So, we have what we call our foundational employment training programs that we do here at the Urban League, where we help people if they're chronically unemployed. We believe that everybody deserves a second chance, so we work with them on resumes, we work with them on interviewing, we work with them on job coaching to make sure that they can be successful in getting a job. And then we have what we call our advanced academies, where we work with industry here, and we say, if you want to really make a difference, don't just say you want to make a difference, tell us you're going to hire somebody. So we have great partners like Exact Sciences, which is a new healthcare organization here that's doing colonoscopy tests where it's not invasive. They're hiring folks at $15 an hour. They've got 200 vacancies where we're going to help them do training. Everybody that comes to our training program, they're going to give them an interview. We work with UW Hospital here, and we have what we call a medical scheduling program, where we train a cohort of individuals, and they hire most of those individuals at $15 or $16 an hour. The Department of Workforce Development, which is our state workforce agency here, looked at our work and said, wow, you guys are getting down. So they gave us $96,000 to train and place 85 people into the healthcare industry beyond UW Health. So we got those going on. We have a whole lot of partnerships here in this city where people, understand that, we have to go beyond the statistics, because if you drive into some of the poorer communities here, or if you go into the grocery store or Salvation Army and things like that, you're like, what? They got a low unemployment rate here. It doesn't look like it when you see, the people that are suffering. So we're doing a whole lot to try to help, put people into sustainable wage jobs and building partnership with industry.
And y'all do a great job there. And one of the things that's been going on here in North Carolina, I don't know if you've been following some of the North Carolina politics and North Carolina things that are happening here, but of course we had the Moral Mondays that were going on that dealt with Governor McCrory was in office, and now he's not in office, but they're still dealing with a lot of the same kind of issues of gentrification and pay rates and things of that nature. But there's been a big push here in the North Carolina area for what they're calling the Fight for 15, which is trying to get more and more of the fast food workers to get at least $15 an hour in terms of their wages and everything, because a lot of folks know that, $15 is even difficult to make it in terms of living and things of that nature. But that's one of the things I saw that y'all were doing, is y'all were definitely trying to get people in the jobs in what would definitely be considered sustainable kind of wages. Y'all are even starting some of your jobs at around $15, maybe even $20 an hour. So that definitely seems like y'all are moving in those kind of directions.
Yeah. We work closely with United Way. Our United Way, we have a program called the Hire Program. And with that Hire initiative, our goal is to put people in the jobs no less than $15 to $16 an hour. And we're having a lot of success at that. We have a program that we call the Foundation for the Trades Program. And in that Foundation for the Trades Program, we work with industry. We have apprenticeship training. And we're getting these young people in jobs making $22 an hour, $24 an hour. And we're getting those done in large numbers. So we really do believe that, a job, giving a person a sustainable job where they can provide for their family, solves a lot of issues that we have. If a person is working, most likely they're not going to go out there and take anything. Most likely they're going to be able to provide for their families. And most likely they're going to be happier than not. So we truly believe that, the minimum wage should be $15 an hour, and most industries should be prepared to pay people at least $15 an hour. Still there?
The Affordable Care Act, that if they do any sort of change to it, that is done in such a way that it doesn't impact people, that they don't lose this very important health care that they have gotten with the Affordable Care Act and things of that nature. So I noticed in both your conversations with Paul Ryan and even in some of the things that you've done up there in Wisconsin, that y'all are definitely trying to keep things affordable on the health issue. So I was wondering what kind of initiatives you're doing with the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, so we're partnered with partnering with other folks to let people know, like, when you need to register. We are going to the Capitol and voicing our opinion about, the Affordable Care Act is necessary. We're always expressing our opinion about these new changes that are coming from Washington, D.C., where they're trying to give people less. We actually met with when the House passed, their version of what they thought was the Affordable Care Act, and we were actually in Congresswoman Gwen Moore's office when the votes were taken, and she spent a couple hours with us just really explaining to us that, the thing that people don't really know is that millions of people are going to be, taken off of health care if the folks in D.C. get what they want. But on top of that, money is going to be stripped away from health care and given for the tax cuts for the rich. And that's the whole thing that's really happening beyond all of this whole hype about, health care. Many of the Republicans are looking to strip away resources from health care so they can put this forward to the tax break. When you listen to the president talk, often he's saying that he's got to get the health care done before he can do his tax breaks and his tax savings. Well, yeah, because he wants to strip money from that. So, let's not get caught off guard with the fact that they don't really care about health care. They just care about taking the funds away and giving tax breaks to the rich.
Yeah, that's definitely what they seem to be doing more and more of, is trying to find more and more ways to get money to his rich partners and take more and more away from those that are in the middle class and those that are in the poor classes and everything. So that is definitely very true. Now, just to give a little bit of background and everything, we mentioned a little bit about us both having, because some of the listeners won't know you as well as I do, so I want to give a little bit of history and everything. I know that both of us came in to Marquette under the EOP program, and one of the things I was wondering about is, because like I said, I've lost touch a little bit with Marquette. The EOP program does still exist, doesn't it? Because that was a way that people that had less had less funding and less things of that nature, they were able to get to a school like Marquette.
Yeah, the EOP program is still a great program, helping people, find ways into colleges like Marquette. Sandy Robinson is no longer the director there, but Eric Williams is now the new director. He's one of my fraternity brothers, but he I don't know what fraternity your co-host is in, but anyway, the Eric Williams is the president of that EOP program. Now, he's doing a wonderful job there. Each year, they're graduating young people that are really going on to do great things. The program has expanded now where they have also opportunities for you to go to graduate school. I don't remember that when we were students that they pay, for graduate courses, but a lot of people have gone through that program and gotten master's degrees and PhDs. So it's still a great program. It's still a great resource. They have reunions probably like every other year, so you should come down because a lot of folks that we're young with, come down, and it's really a chance to have some time to relax and reflect and really kind of look at how the campus has changed. Campus has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Like I said, I've not been there back since we graduated, but I do keep track through the Marquette alumni newsletters and as well as some friends that have graduated, because there are even a few friends that have graduated from Marquette that are here in North Carolina and everything. So I run across them every once in a while. So they do keep me informed as to what's happening there on the campus. So I've definitely seen some of those big changes that have happened there on the Marquette campus. So I'm glad to see those things happening. I'm glad to see that the EOP program, because like I said, I don't know that I would have had the great education that I did if I had not gone there. But you were originally, you came to Wisconsin, and you came to Wisconsin from Yonkers. You asked about Dean. You asked about Dean. Dean is in New Jersey, even though he went to school in Virginia and everything. So tell us a little bit, but once you got there, you haven't left. I did the opposite. I went to school for the 4.5 years, came back home to North Carolina, and except for going down to Boca Raton, where I worked at a newspaper for a hot second, I pretty much stayed around North Carolina, different cities in North Carolina, but I've been in Durham, Raleigh, Winston-Salem, various other cities around here. So I did almost the opposite. So do you still keep in touch with some of your family members in both, because you have family both in Yonkers, and if I remember correctly, you also have family in Jackson, Mississippi?
Absolutely, man. You got a good memory. Yeah, I do. Now that I'm with the Urban League, I'm in New York more than before. Right now I'm on some national committees where I'm in New York probably like once a month. But when I left Marquette, remember I went to Mississippi and I went to Jackson State, and I finished a master's degree in public policy and administration there. And one of the lady that I was dating during college, she was still here in Wisconsin because she's from Milwaukee, and we ended up getting married in 1988. And so I had finished graduate school, my first graduate degree at that time, and so I ended up getting a job as a budget analyst with the Department of Veterans Affairs. And then after that, being there for 5 years, I ended up getting a job with the Department of Transportation, where I was the deputy secretary there, and I got appointed under 3 different governors on their cabinet. And so I spent most of my career in transportation, and I was the chief operating officer of an agency with 3,600 people, a $3.2 billion budget. So that was most of my career. Then I went on, while I was pursuing my transportation career, I went on to pick up a second master's degree at the University of Wisconsin in urban and regional planning. Then following that, I picked studies in community development at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So a lot of studying during that time, a lot of work in diversity and economic development and transportation, which really got me pretty much in a position to take this job as the urban lead, because I was doing the equity work while I was in the transportation industry, and so there was a logical, transfer over to doing the equity work for the urban league in general.
Yeah, and how do you feel that Wisconsin is doing in terms of transportation? Because I know here in North Carolina we're trying to get light rail, and they're talking about that being way down the road. I think the first part of it from Durham to Chapel Hill might get in place by sometime in the 2020s, but in terms of more extensive kind of light rail, it's probably going to be many years down the road and everything. But is Wisconsin doing a good job in terms of its whole transportation aspect, and also the state of Wisconsin? How is it doing in terms of getting people to and from to public transportation and also the highways?
Well, I'll say for many of my colleagues and former employees, they do the best that they can do, every day in keeping the highways and the transit systems and things going. But the whole debate about funding transportation this time around was really difficult. And rather than coming up with creative ways to raise revenue, the state of Wisconsin borrowed, I believe, $700 million to make the transportation budget whole. Rather than raising gas taxes or raising fees, people really don't want to be classified as tax and spenders, so they don't make the best decisions for people. But with cars becoming more efficient and the revenue base shrinking, it takes courage to run transportation agencies, and I just didn't see the courage that was necessary to do the right thing for Wisconsin in this budget debate. And so, but when we were in under Governor Jim Dole, we had gotten money for high-speed rail to make the connection between Milwaukee, Madison, and Minnesota. And when Governor Scott Walker came in, he gave $800-something million back, to the federal government. And so I think that set us back in terms of having a transit system that really connected the biggest urban region in the state to the biggest government region, biggest university region in the state, and then also to Minnesota and Chicago. So I think that was a missed opportunity for helping take Wisconsin to the next level. I don't know if we'll ever get a chance during our lifetime to right that mistake.
Wow. And do you know if, because I know that right here in the Triangle, which is the Triangle area of North Carolina, which is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, and I imagine there are even some in the New Jersey, New York area, but do you know if anything in Wisconsin is among the folks that are trying to get that Amazon new headquarters? Because I know that they've got some ridiculous amount of proposals. I think I heard something like 269 or 289 from cities around the country to build their second headquarters. So I was wondering if anything in Wisconsin was in that list that you are aware of.
Yeah. Milwaukee is definitely trying to get it. Madison would love to get it, but I don't know if we have the level of density in Milwaukee or Madison that they're requiring for the project. But, both Milwaukee and Madison would be great candidates for that project because of the cultures here and the economic development that we have going on here. Right now, Dane County, where Madison is the strongest economic region in the state and is carrying the state of Wisconsin. A lot of that has to do with trying to think of the Epic, which is the healthcare computer system